The observation deck of the Galactic Academy station hummed with anticipation. Representatives from 47 species had gathered for the annual Apex Predator Showcase, a tradition meant to demonstrate the evolutionary superiority of each civilization's deadliest creatures. It was both a cultural exchange and a subtle display of dominance, a reminder that despite their technological achievements, every species still carried the legacy of survival written in tooth and claw. Anna Martinez stood near the back of the crowd, her cadet uniform still crisp despite the long journey from Earth. At 22, she was one of the youngest humans ever admitted to the Academy, though she suspected her acceptance had more to do with humanity's recent admission to the Galactic Council than her own merits. Beside her, Daniel Chen adjusted his datapad, cataloging each creature as it was presented. "This is incredible," Daniel whispered. His eyes wide as a Krillian ambassador unveiled a crystalline arthropod the size of a shuttle. The creature's mandibles could supposedly slice through starship hull plating. "We're witnessing millions of years of evolution from across the galaxy." Anna nodded absently, though her attention was drawn to the way the other species watched them. The Vrex delegation kept their distance, their scaled faces unreadable. The insectoid Therics chittered among themselves, compound eyes glinting. Humans were still novelties here, primitives from a backwater world who'd barely achieved faster than light travel. The showcase continued. The Xanathi presented a pack hunter with electromagnetic senses that could detect heartbeats from 3 kilometers away. The Morphidians unveiled an ambush predator that could phase partially out of normal space-time. Each presentation was met with polite clicks, chirps, and vocalizations of approval. Then came the cavalry. The cavalry were old, ancient even by galactic standards. Their civilization had mastered genetic engineering when humanity's ancestors were still developing opposable thumbs. They carried themselves with the quiet confidence of a species that had never known defeat, never questioned their place at the top of the food chain. Their ambassador, a tall being with luminescent skin and too many joints in its limbs, stepped forward. Behind it, a containment field shimmered into existence. Behold, the ambassador's translator rendered its speech into flat, emotionless English. The Zother, the ultimate expression of predatory evolution. The field dropped. The creature that emerged defied easy description. It stood 3 meters tall, covered in overlapping plates of biometallic armor that shifted colors to match its surroundings. 6 eyes, arranged in pairs, provided complete spherical vision. Its limbs ended in retractable claws that gleamed like surgical steel. Most impressive were its sensory organs: thermal pits, electromagnetic receptors, pheromone analyzers, and something Daniel's scanner identified as a gravitational anomaly detector. The Zother, the cavalry continued, represents 50 million years of apex predatory evolution, refined through genetic engineering over the last 100,000. It has no natural predators. It has never known fear. On our homeworld, we use them to hunt the great leviathans of our deep oceans. A single author can track prey across entire continents, adapt to any environment, and learn from every encounter. It is, quite simply, perfect. The assembled species erupted in genuine amazement. Even the usually stoic Vrex hissed their approval. The Zother moved with liquid grace, its armor plates catching the light as it prowled the edges of its containment area. It was magnificent, terrible, and utterly lethal. The cavalry ambassador turned toward the human delegation, its expression unreadable, but its posture suggesting challenge. "And what apex predator does humanity offer?" The room fell silent. Every eye, compound and simple, turned toward Anna and Daniel. Anna felt her face flush. Earth's delegation hadn't prepared a presentation. They were observers, students, not participants. Humanity's deadliest animals, lions, bears, sharks, seemed laughably primitive compared to the engineered nightmares on display. Daniel opened his mouth, probably to offer some diplomatic deflection. But Anna spoke first. "Is it how strained?" The translator must have struggled with the idiom, because there was a delay before various species received the translation. Then confusion rippled through the crowd. The cavalry ambassador tilted its head. "Clarify your meaning." "Human." Anna stepped forward, her heart pounding but her voice steady. Yours author. Can you teach it to use a designated waste area? Does it come when called? Will it refrain from eating your furniture? These questions are irrelevant, the ambassador said, though something in its tone suggested uncertainty. The Zother is a weapon, a tool of war and hunting, right, but can you live with it? Anna continued, warming to her theme. She noticed Daniel trying to signal her to stop, but momentum carried her forward. See, on Earth, our apex predator ain't the biggest or the strongest. It's us, humans, and you want to know what our secret is. She gestured at the Zother. 50 million years ago, our ancestors looked at creatures like that, well, smaller and less impressive, but still terrifying, and instead of running or fighting, they thought, I wonder if I could make that thing like me. Anna pulled out her datapad, calling up images from Earth. We took wolves, pack hunters, with powerful jaws and killing instincts, and over thousands of years, we turned them into dogs. Some of them still help us hunt, others guard our homes, and some, she showed an image of a Pomeranian, we bred to be small enough to carry in our arms because we thought it was cute. The assembled species stared at the image of the tiny, fluffy creature. We did the same with cats, horses, cattle, pigs, Anna continued. We looked at the world's predators and megafauna and decided to make them love us. That's humanity's evolutionary strategy. We don't just dominate through strength. We dominate through friendship, cooperation, and the absolutely terrifying ability to make almost anything work with us instead of against us. She looked directly at the Cavalry ambassador. So, yes, yours author is impressive, but I guarantee that within 5 generations, if you gave us access to them, there'd be a human family somewhere with one sleeping at the foot of their bed, genetically modified to be loyal, affectionate, and yes, how strained. The silence that followed was deafening. Then Daniel started laughing. It was a nervous sound at first, but it grew stronger. Soon, a few of the other species joined in, those who dealt with humans before and understood the terrible truth in Anna's words. The Cavalry ambassador studied Anna for a long moment. Your species weaponizes empathy. We weaponize everything, Anna replied, but we prefer to call it making friends. As the showcase concluded and the crowd dispersed, Anna noticed several ambassadors eyeing their apex predators with newfound uncertainty. The Vrex delegation was already deep in conversation, their gesture patterns suggesting alarm. Daniel fell into step beside her. You just terrified the entire Galactic Council. Did I? Anna, you basically told them that humanity's evolutionary strategy is to adopt anything that doesn't immediately kill us and turn it into a pet. She grinned. Well, when you put it that way, it does sound a bit concerning. A bit. Daniel shook his head, but he was smiling. Wait until they find out about domestication programs. Or worse, wait until they discover animal videos on the human internet. As they left the observation deck, Anna glanced back at the Zother. It watched her with its 6 eyes, its biometallic armor rippling. For just a moment, she could have sworn it looked curious. Yes, she thought. Humanity's place in the galaxy was secure, not because they were the strongest, or the fastest, or the most heavily armed, but because they possessed something far more dangerous than any weapon, the unshakable belief that anything, given enough time and patience, could become a friend. Even apex predators, especially apex predators,